Alex Smith, even when they hit their rough patch this year, it wasn't because Alex Smith wasn't playing good football. I'm a huge believer in Alex Smith, and I just think it'd be a shame to see him playing somewhere else next year. And whoever that team might be, they'd be lucky to have him.
Certainly demonstrated he can still play. Whether it's for the Chiefs or somebody else, he'll play in the Pro Bowl today. Here's some rules differences from the regular season. There are no kickoffs. Drives will start at the offense's 25-yard line after scores in the start of each half. The offense always has to have a running back and a tight end on the field, and no motions shifting allowed by eligible receivers. Meanwhile, the defense has to play with 4 linemen, 3 linebackers, and 4 DBs. You won't see nickel or dime defenses, and blitzing is also not allowed. The NFC won the toss and elected to take the football. Cloudy day, temperature near 80 degrees. We had some pregame rain. There is the possibility of more showers, perhaps even thunderstorms. But so far, so good as Drew Brees steps under center in his 11th Pro Bowl. In his 17-year NFL career, throws on the run. And a quick hitter to Michael Thomas. As you said, the familiarity helps, and he goes right to his teammate to start the game. NFL record this year set by Drew Brees, 72% completion percentage. As a matter of fact, he has 3 of the 4 highest single-season completion percentages of all time.
Well, really impressive the season they had, and they did it with a running game, which is not something we've seen out of New Orleans in a long time.
Todd Gurley of the Los Angeles Rams got very close to the first down, about a half-yard short. Here are the starters in the game. Of course, some of those voted in, unable to play due to injury. Some of them also on their way to the Super Bowl with the Patriots and Eagles. Whitworth, Lang, Mack, the starting left side of that offensive line. Hal Juszczyk in the Pro Bowl for the 2nd year in a row. Last year he was a Baltimore Raven. And Adam Thielen, one of the great stories in the NFL this year. Undrafted player.
Ready.
To start his career in 2013, now a Pro Bowler representing the Minnesota Vikings. 3rd and 1, and the catch made for a first down. Doug Baldwin of the Seattle Seahawks out across the 48-yard line, a gain of 14.
Well, there's no short yardage offense or defense in this game, so you're going to see some exciting passes on 3rd and 1. Really nice route by Doug Baldwin, attacking the outside leverage, and a great throw by Drew Brees. No surprise there.
Baldwin, his 7th year out of Stanford, 2nd consecutive Pro Bowl for Baldwin, the leading receiver for the Seahawks each of the past 4 years. In as an injury replacement for the 2nd year in a row for Larry Fitzgerald, the great Arizona Cardinals. Not here. 2 minutes in, Brees over the middle. Adam Thielen slips down at the AFC 46-yard line. Terrell Suggs, oldest defensive player in the game on either team, made the tackle. Ingram, Atkins, Casey, and Hayward. Cameron Hayward, the Steelers, in his first Pro Bowl in his 7-year career. That had long been a goal of his. The ageless Suggs with his teammate Mosley of the Ravens and Von Miller. In the secondary, 2 Jacksonville cornerbacks, Ramsey and Boye with Weddle and Jones. Gurley on 2nd down and 4. I guess that's an example of what we can expect to see. He's running, but not at full speed. They're tackling him, but not trying to hammer him.
Well, no, I actually think you are going full speed until contact, once the guy wraps you up. Where they kind of seem to let up and maybe it doesn't look as good is when they don't try to take you to the ground because they hear the whistle. And there is a little bit of a quick whistle. But I do think that it's going to be full speed, especially on the one-on-one matchups outside, wide receiver and DB.
14, light 5-8, ready. You ready? Set.
3rd and 2, they give it to Gurley, and it didn't appear from here that he made the line to make at the 41-yard line, about a half-yard short. And Sean Payton, coaching in his 2nd Pro Bowl, has a decision to make in a game like this. Why wouldn't you go for it on 4th down?
Well, you're going to go for it. You know, like I said earlier, you don't have a short yardage offense or defense, so you could look for play action here. You could look for throwing the ball, even though it's a running situation, even though the fullback's coming in the game.
They give it to the fullback, Juszczyk, and they waited long enough to blow the whistle. He got the first down.
Well, I should have mentioned you might give the ball to the fullback, which never happens. These poor guys, all the blocking they do, and they never get the ball. Now's a perfect chance to give them a ball, throw them a bone.
Juszczyk did have just 7 rushes for San Francisco. And what an exciting end to their season. 5 straight wins led by Jimmy Garoppolo, giving them reason for optimism next year.
Blue 80, what's that?
NFC on the move to open the game. Breeze over the middle for Kyle Rudolph for the Minnesota Vikings in his second Pro Bowl, and he has, it seems, another first down inside the 30. It is with a gain of 11.
And Drew Brees is a vet here. He's spreading it around. You want to get each one of these guys a football. He's got Michael Thomas a ball, Baldwin a ball, Thielen a ball. Now he hits Kyle Rudolph.
Gun change
He understands.
right nasty. 22 all go special. Alert X shallow cross F wide. Oh,
So this is one of my favorite plays that he calls here. It's all go special. So basically you're going to have 3 guys going vertical and 1 guy on a shallow cross. He's going to take a shot if it's there, and if not, you're going to hit the guy underneath.
He's taking the shot, and it is incomplete. Throwing it down the seam for his teammate Mark Ingram, the running back for the Saints. How about Von Miller? Ordinarily rushing the passer, but when you have to stay in a 4-3 alignment, sometimes those guys who are linebackers have to drop back into coverage.
Well, it's an unfortunate part of coming here, and you have to do that. I remember coming to Pro Bowls, and DeMarcus Ware, one of the great pass rushers in our game, he'd have to go play in space like Von Miller just had to do there. And it wasn't really fair to him. He was, trying to cover wide receivers and little scat Reggie Bush types.
yeah. And then H options. Ready. Blue 80, what's that?
Breeze straight back to pass, under duress, dumps it off for Ingram. And he is stopped by Von Miller. What a year for Mark Ingram. Hard to believe it's already 7 seasons in the NFL out of the University of Alabama. Career highs in rushing yards and also 58 receptions. He and Alvin Kamara, the rookie, formed an incredible duo at the running back position for Coach Payton.
Well, they called it boom and zoom, Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara this year, and really Drew Brees was dealing to both those guys. Just one of the most explosive offenses, I mentioned again, with running backs.
3rd down and 5. Breeze on target to start the game and has Kyle Rudolph again. Stopped at the 10-yard line.
Well, that's a Saint to a Viking. Who would have thought that would have been possible a couple of weeks ago after that finish up in Minnesota? It's nice to see they've made amends.
All right, we're knocking the door. Hey, red zone, let's go. Weak right slot and ride, 35 Bob. Quick count.
Okay, we got a run play here. Ride simply means which way he's opening. 35 is 5-hole to the left.
And there goes Todd Gurley to the left. Breeze 6 out of 7 passing. Well, you mentioned that Saints-Viking game, one of the most dramatic in NFL playoff history. Breeze led a comeback for the ages. It would have been considered that had they won on this Will Lutz 43-yard field goal with 25 seconds to go. The Saints led 24-23. The final play of the game, Stephon Diggs, they were just trying to get in field goal range, but Marcus Williams didn't make the tackle. 61-yard touchdown, the Minnesota Miracle. The Vikings won 29-24. 2nd and goal. Breeze to another Viking. Adam Thielen. It seems like all has been forgiven and forgotten as the Saints and Vikings playing nicely with each other here in the first quarter at the Pro Bowl, and the NFC leads 6-0.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Touchdown pass from Drew Brees to Adam Thielen.
Well, you mentioned Drew Brees dealing it to each and every guy. Here he goes to Thielen after going to Kyle Rudolph. What a year Adam Thielen has had. Undrafted free agent, has made a name for himself in this league. Him and Stephon Diggs, quite the tandem, quite the duo there in Minnesota, with an amazing year by Case Keenum this season.
Graham Gano from the Carolina Panthers adds the extra point. Adam Thielen couldn't even get a scholarship to Minnesota State Mankato. Now he's a Pro Bowler and has a Pro Bowl touchdown. The 2018 Pro Bowl is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. At the conclusion of today's national anthem, treated to a breathtaking flyover, Fighting Felix of Strike Fighter Squadron 3-1. Ben Roethlisberger as the AFC goes on offense for the first time, and like Drew Brees ahead of him, Ben comes out throwing to one of his teammates, the great Antonio Brown. 6th Pro Bowl, but he hasn't appeared in the game the last 3 times he was selected. So it's his first Pro Bowl appearance since 2011 after a 4,200-yard plus passing season and twice as many touchdowns as interceptions. He was 5th in the league in passing yards at age 35. He'll be 36 in March. Says he intends to play again next season. No commitment beyond that, but his teammate said he told him he's going to play for 3 more years. Le'Veon Bell flipped it to Antonio Brown. All Steelers. Brown's pass batted down by Harrison Smith.
Well, that's what you got to love about the Pro Bowl. Trick plays. We mentioned continuity. You got Ben to Le'Veon Bell to Antonio Brown. Steelers who are used to ball handling, they couldn't quite get it done on the throw, but I think this is what the fans are excited to see in this Pro Bowl, some more trickery.
Antonio Brown, left-handed thrower, could not complete the pass to Keenan Allen. Brown had completed 3 out of 5 career passes in regular season play, but not in the Pro Bowl. There's Keenan Allen with the catch. The Los Angeles Charger with a 12-yard gain and an AFC first down. The starting lineup for the AFC Pro Bowlers. Ben also benefits from having his safety and right guard in Marquise Pouncey and David DeCastro, along with Alejandro Villanueva, the right tackle. All Steelers on the right side of that offensive line. Steelers as well, Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. As Lisa said, there are 10 Steelers selected for the game, most of any team, 9 of them here, and we add our best wishes to Ryan Shazier. Roethlisberger dumps it off. Jack Doyle, the tight end for the Colts. Well, if there was any question that there would be hitting, we have a hit and then some from Quan Alexander in his first Pro Bowl for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Perhaps he's not fully familiar with the traditions and etiquette of the Pro Bowl.
Well, this is a hit, and I played with Jack Doyle. He's a big dude. He's like 265, and Quan Alexander delivering the hit. I heard it from up here.
Alexander just 23 years old. Injury replacement for the Seahawks, Bobby Wagner. Movement. Looked like Michael Bennett was offside. The Seattle Seahawk. Was he drawn off? Walt Anderson, the referee.
Neutral zone infraction number 72. NFC, 5-yard penalty. First down.
And here is the NFC defense. Cameron Jordan had a terrific year for the New Orleans Saints. Deion Jones just in his 2nd year. Chandler Jones, the sack leader in the NFL. Patrick Peterson in the Pro Bowl for the 7th year in a row. The great cornerback from the Arizona Cardinals. 5 minutes to go, opening quarter. Le'Veon Bell about 2 yards on the gain. DeMarcus Lawrence made the tackle. Had a magnificent year for the Dallas Cowboys at the right time as he is heading into free agency.
Well, it's practically all Steelers on this offense out there, and Le'Veon Bell's running behind some familiar faces. But as we know, just such a patient runner, a strong runner. Looking for a new contract, as we've talked about, but what a talent that Le'Veon Bell is.
Dual threat, 3rd in the league in rushing, and he didn't play in the finale. Led all NFL running backs in catches. Here's Jarvis Landry of the Miami Dolphins. He led the entire league in receptions with 112. He's another one trying to get a new contract done, and he expressed optimism about that during the practice press sessions this week.
Well, one of the highlights of this week was the Pro Bowl Skills Challenge, and I don't know if there was anybody I would give MVP to other than Jarvis Landry. Winning epic dodgeball, showing off those great hands. Players had a ton of fun. I know we had fun being there, but Jarvis Landry, what an incredible athlete.
3rd down and 1. Roosevelt Nix, another Steeler, the fullback, comes into the game, and they throw him a bone. Le'Veon Bell says so much of his success is due to the great work done by Roosevelt Nix to lead the way. He had only 3 carries in the regular season, but here in the All-Star game, why not?
It's really nice to see some fullback love here. Talking to the Steelers offensive line coach Mike Munchak, he said, man, I love Rosie Nix. He's a defensive lineman playing fullback, and that's actually what he was. He came to the Steelers as a D lineman, and they converted him to fullback, and he's done an amazing job.
Terrific line coach. Like Tomlin points out, some of those guys like Pouncey and DeCastro, you don't have to do too much coaching, but Alejandro Villanueva has been a project and a success story as a Pro Bowler. More trickery from the AFC. Here's Jack Doyle, shoved out of bounds by Thomas Davis of the Carolina Panthers. Here another AFC first down.
Well, if Steelers fans aren't sure what they're going to get in Todd Haley's replacement, Randy Fichtner, maybe this is an indication. We've got a double reverse pass. We've got the flea flicker on the first drive. Maybe this is just what he's normally like, and it's not just Pro Bowl play calls. Maybe this is what he is all the time. We do not know quite yet.
Todd Haley parted ways with the Steelers at the end of the Steelers playoff game. Now with the Cleveland Browns. So Ben's 5 for 5 for 39 yards on this opening drive, going for the touchdown, and it's incomplete. Intended for Brown. And Xavier Rhodes of the Minnesota Vikings, one of the great corners in the NFL, playing in his 2nd consecutive Pro Bowl. First team All-Pro this year.
Well, Xavier Rhodes going up against one of the game's best players, Antonio Brown, but one of the strengths of Xavier Rhodes is that size. He's a big guy. These guys train with each other down in Miami. They know each other well, have a tremendous amount of respect for each other, but that physicality at corner that Mike Zimmer has out there, Xavier Rhodes had a great year again this year.
On 2nd and 10, final 2 minutes of the opening quarter, Le'Veon Bell stopped by Quan Alexander. Much more gentle contact made by Alexander that time. Mike Tomlin's never been the head coach in the Pro Bowl. It's the 2nd time that Sean Payton has been the head coach for the NFC.
Wide drive semi. Yes, yes.
Well, he said wide drive semi, so wide drive, you got the tight end on the right side going to come across on a shallow cross to the left side. Semi is an out route for the receiver on the outside.
The tight end to the right is Delaney Walker of the Tennessee Titans. The pass comes to the near sideline to Antonio Brown. As the quarterback, when you're playing with your teammates, do you feel a little bit of pressure to take care of your own guys first?
I certainly would, but I've noticed with both guys, veteran quarterbacks, been in a ton of Pro Bowls, Drew Brees and Ben Roethlisberger, kind of feeding the ball around, giving everybody some love, which is kind of a nice thing to do. But when the play caller's dialing up flea flickers and reverse passes, you don't really have to do that much. It's kind of taking care of it for you.
I might believe they're out of trick plays, so they didn't spend a lot of time practicing this week. So here's Chris Boswell from the Steelers, another of the Steelers, who's had a terrific year in his 3rd year. He kicks the field goal. It was 35 out of 38 in the regular season. That one good from 41. Our next 30 for 30 film, presented by Blue Moon, focuses on the unique relationship between legendary coaches Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick. The Two Bills premieres Thursday at 9 Eastern time on ESPN. You can also stream it live on the Watch ESPN app. Well, the skies have opened up here in Orlando. Pretty good shower right now, but fortunately no thunder and lightning. Drew Brees led the NFC to a touchdown on the opening drive. He went 7 out of 8 on the drive for 66 yards and the score. Pump fake and the wide throw incomplete. Intended for Doug Baldwin. With that touchdown pass on the opening drive, Drew's now thrown 9 in Pro Bowl play. That is third most all time, behind only Peyton Manning through 15 touchdowns and 11 Pro Bowls. Johnny Unitas through 10 and 10.
Ready.
Just another note on Drew Brees' Hall of Fame resume, one of the greats of all time. Hand off to Alvin Kamara, the rookie running back from the Saints, on what will be the last play of the first quarter. And it is pouring right now here in Central Florida. End of the first quarter, the NFC leading the AFC 7-3. Right before the Pro Bowl, Drew Brees had his three boys, Bowen, Balin, and Kalen, write essays applying to Coach Sean Payton to be ball boys at this Pro Bowl game. Sean Payton conducted an interview. He also put them through the paces. He knew it might be rainy here in Florida this time of the year, so he had the balls in the wet buckets, and he had them drying off the balls as quickly as they could. So that skill will be tested at some point here today.
Great idea.
Drew Brees, look out, he is sacked. Back at the 12-yard line. Melvin Ingram of the Los Angeles Chargers in his 6th year in the NFL, playing in his first Pro Bowl. On 4th down and forever, the NFC will punt. Von Miller, as usual, involved in putting pressure on the quarterback. So Tyreek Hill back for the punt in a driving rainstorm. Johnny Hecker seems to become the best punter in the NFL. 4th Pro Bowl, 3rd in a row. These guys aren't used to covering. Kicks, and Hill cannot hang on to it. Buda Baker, the Arizona Cardinals, runs it in for a touchdown. On this wet field, and with a wet ball, a fumble by Tyreek Hill. And now the officials are conferring about whether or not this was a muff, and are they going to spot the ball back near the 20-yard line.
Well, clearly a fumble by Tyreek Hill. Obviously the wet conditions.
Therefore, by rule, the kick cannot be advanced by the kicking team. It will be first down for the AFC at the spot of recovery.
First down for the NFC. Buda Baker made it as a special teams player, rookie out of the University of Washington. He saw considerable time at safety for the Cardinals late in the year, second half of the year, after Tyvon Branch went down with an injury. He's a rising star in the NFL. He just made a big play in this Pro Bowl. The Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award, presented by Nationwide, recognizes NFL players who've made a significant impact both on the game and in their communities. It's a great honor. This year's finalists are Greg Olson, Benjamin Watson, and J.J. Watt. Tune in to NFL Honors on February 3rd at 9 Eastern on NBC to see who is recognized as the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Russell Wilson in at quarterback now for the NFC. Mark Ingram, the running back, for a short gain. So here's Russell in his 5th Pro Bowl in his 6-year NFL career. Led the NFL in touchdown passes this season. First Seahawk to do that. He's also the team's leading rusher. They didn't have a tailback run for more than 250 yards. Big reason why they did not make the playoffs, and a problem they'll try to fix with an eye toward next year. Ingram in trouble and cannot run away from Telvin Smith, the speedy linebacker, one of 6 Jacksonville Jaguars in this game, all of them on defense. The future is bright for Doug Marrone and his coaching staff. What a great job they did, taking the Jags from 3 wins to the playoffs. Only Paul Posluszny and Kevin Hardy have made it as Jaguar linebackers in previous Pro Bowls. And talked to Doug Marrone yesterday about him, Matt, about Telvin Smith. Said great against the run and the pass with that speed.
Well, I remember playing against him. He was a young kid with speed, but didn't really know how to play linebacker. He's learned how to play linebacker, and now he's in the Pro Bowl as one of the best.
Wilson under duress just did get it off with Jarrell Casey on his back, and it's a loss on the play. Dumped it off to Mark Ingram, and a loss and 4th down, and the field goal unit's going to come out for the NFC. The rain has tapered off slightly, but as you can see in that shot, it is still a steady rain. Not quite as intense as a few moments ago when Hill couldn't hang on to the punt. Now Graham Gano, in his 8th year in the NFL and his first Pro Bowl. Missed only 1 field goal all year. Led the NFL in percentage at 96.7. And that one's good from 43 yards. 7-point lead for the NFC in Orlando. Back at the Pro Bowl. The NFC leading 10-3 early in the 2nd quarter. Sean McDonough, Matt Hasselbeck here in the booth. Lewis Riddick and Lisa Salters down on the field. We won't mention to Lewis and Lisa it's nice and dry here in the booth.
Oh, you're cruel, man.
I am cruel.
You're cruel.
Cruel and unusual. AFC ball down by a touchdown. Starting from their own 25-yard line with Ben Roethlisberger still at quarterback, and LaShawn McCoy of the Buffalo Bills now the running back. He gets the call, gets 2, and with more on LaShawn McCoy, here's Lewis.
Yeah, Sean, I got a chance to talk to the man affectionately known as Shady McCoy before the game even started. And I said, you realize when you were drafted back in 2009 in the 2nd round out of the University of Pittsburgh? Yeah, hail to Pitt. That's my alma mater. I said, you know, some of the guys that you had outlasted in this league, Beanie Wells, No Sean Marino, Donald Brown, he's rushed for more career rushing yards than all those guys combined. One of the questions coming out in the draft that year was whether or not LaShawn could be an every down back, a guy who could carry the ball 20 to 25 times a game. Well, he's answered that question and more with the career he has had.
Antonio Brown, the intended receiver. This guy, like many in this game, a dual threat that can carry the ball and catch it.
No doubt, and you know what? This is a guy each and every week when you go play the Buffalo Bills, all 11 defenders are keying on him. He's the human joystick. He's like one of those guys in the Madden game, jukes and spins, and he does it all. And in his 9th year, to get the amount of touches that he does is really impressive. But I still don't know how he doesn't fumble. It's never high and tight, and yet somehow he never fumbles. I don't get it.
He's gone to the sideline, placed by the rookie from the Chiefs, Kareem Hunt, the leading rusher in the league. Roethlisberger to the far sideline. Keenan Allen the catch, and he's stopped immediately by Marshawn Lattimore, the tremendous 21-year-old rookie corner for the New Orleans Saints, and Sean Payton. He was a big reason why that defense was so much improved than it had been over all of the recent years.
Marshawn Lattimore, just fearless to come in as a rookie and play the way he played for the New Orleans Saints this season. And they blitz a lot, and they leave their corners on an island. Inside technique, 7 to 8 yards off the ball. And this kid answered the bell. Fearless out of Ohio State. Just a big physical corner.
And they're going to go for it, the AFC. 4th and 2 from their own 35. Down by 7 from their own 33. They need to make the 35. And they might have gotten the yards on the jump by Mike Daniels. The flags have been thrown and the whistles are blowing, so that interception.
Neutral zone infraction number 76, NFC, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Mike Daniels of the Green Bay Packers in his first Pro Bowl.
Well, it's a great voice inflection by Ben Roethlisberger. I'm going to share something that I heard once. Kevin Green and Chad Brown told me. They said a great pass rusher is off sides once a game, but never at the wrong time. That right there on 4th and 2, that was the wrong time.
Sean McCoy back in. 1st and 10 for the AFC. The rain has slowed down considerably. Wind really not a factor. As a matter of fact, right now the flags hanging straight down the poles. And Lewis was talking about McCoy and everything that he has accomplished. And it is impressive. Since his 2nd NFL season, 2010, he's led the league in yards from scrimmage and in rushing yards. How about those numbers? 12,525 scrimmage yards, rushing and receiving yards since 2010 to lead the league. Couldn't hang on. Ball got knocked away. Earl Thomas had coverage. Quan Alexander drifting by as well.
You know, Sean, I was talking to some of these guys, the wide receivers and quarterbacks this week. I said, hey, when are you going in the game? How much you playing? And what did they say? Man, I just hope I get in before the rain comes. You can tell the conditions are making it difficult.
And it looks like it's going to rain for a while. We had to look at the radar not long ago, and just looking at the skies, it was sort of partly cloudy when the game began, but it's socked in over downtown Orlando right now. 3rd down and 7, 8.5 to go till halftime. Ben Roethlisberger, 7 out of 11 for 50 yards. Pump fake, and the pass broken up, intended for Brown, and Marshawn Lattimore again there to make the play. He is almost certainly going to be the defensive rookie of the year in the NFL.
Well, he deserves it. You know, the pump fake sometimes makes you late. And Ben Roethlisberger pumped to Delaney Walker. I think Antonio Brown was hoping that ball would have gotten there a little quicker. When you're going up against a guy like Marshawn Lattimore, there's really no room for error. And it's a game of inches, and right there, that ball just wasn't there on time.
He's the youngest player in the Pro Bowl this year, 21. AFC poised to go for it again. Their own territory, their own 41-yard line, 4th down and 7.
Titans punter Brett Kern probably wondering if he's going to get to play today.
Doesn't look like it. If they're going to keep going for it in their own territory, Kern may not see the field, so it's nice of you to mention your former teammate and punter.
He'll get to hold for field goals and extra points.
Roethlisberger deep down the field and intercepted by the Vikings, Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith may score. Delaney Walker had a shot at him, couldn't trip him up, and it's an interception return of 79 yards for a touchdown by the Vikings, Harrison Smith.
Well, Ben Roethlisberger tries to take a shot to his teammate Antonio Brown. The ball hangs up. When he first caught it, when Harrison Smith first caught it, I said, oh, just knock it down for field position. And then, what do I know? He takes it to the house. Pick 6 for Harrison Smith. Delaney Walker can't make the tackle.
Harrison Smith had 5 interceptions in the regular season. That was a career high. Playing his 3rd straight Pro Bowl. What talent Rick Spielman and the personnel and scouting staff in Minnesota has accumulated.
And really, when you talk about a Mike Zimmer defense, you talk about that free safety and the versatility that you're expected to have, and that's exactly what Harrison Smith has.
Graham Gano just does slide the extra point inside the right upright. So a defensive touchdown. And a 2-touchdown lead now for the NFC. It's 17-3 in Orlando. The 2018 Pro Bowl is brought to you by those that live like a pro, GMC. Flashback to Wednesday. Best hands competition of the Pro Bowl Skills Showdown. Keenan Allen of the Chargers. Sure-handed throughout the season. He couldn't make that one-handed catch at the end, and then he couldn't make the diving catch. He never did finish. His clock is still running. It's now being
he's just all about fundamentals. That's why. Sorry, you know, he's a 2-hand catcher.
Still enjoyed himself. Had a smile on his face when the competition was over. Alex Smith at a quarterback. Passed through the hands of Jarvis Landry. Let's head down to the field. Here's Lisa Salters with Drew Brees and the Brees Ball Boys.
Thank you, Sean. Drew, you got 6 other Saints here with you, but you also got all 3 of your guys. Give me your names again. Balin.
So Balin, Bowen, Callan. Balin's 9, Bowen is 7, Callan is 5.
What's the coolest part of having them out here for the week for you?
Just a chance to be with them, but also just to see their genuine excitement about the guys that they get a chance to meet. You know, it just kind of clicked for them probably 2 years ago with as far as just what Daddy does and you know, the guys in the locker room and then now the guys in the Pro Bowl. I mean, they are such fans of all these players, and so then to see them in person, just the expressions on their faces and everything, but they're so pumped to be here, and I get to have a chance to have them on the sideline too, which is greht.
Now, you said Balin is the best talker. Balin, come on over here. What has been the coolest part of the week so far for you?
Meeting Marshawn Lattimore, Antonio Brown, and Jarvis Landry.
This is exactly what you told me earlier. Hands to yourselves, guys. They fight constantly, right? But you guys are supposed to be working, Balin, your ball boys. What kind of stuff are you doing?
We're helping with practice and trying like make the guys better at running and.
You were spotting the ball, right?
Spotting the ball.
You hand out water. You were helping the running backs with their drills, right?
Yep.
Trying to tackle them.
What are Callan and Bowen doing? It just looks like they're fighting the entire time.
Is that what they do, pretty much, Ben?
All right, we lost them. We lost them. So we can see that the Breeze boys who are supposed to be working, they're just kind of really out here goofing off, Drew. Is that okay? That's fine, right?
That's pretty much the way it is all the time, and he's about to get in big trouble for getting on the field. So here we go.
Congratulations to you. Glad you're having so much fun. Thank you, guys. Have fun. Sean?
Yeah, we all remember Balin as basically an infant with the headphones on the field, his dad's arms. After they won the Super Bowl, Dad with a little lecture about not going on the field. Well, now he's 9 years old, that little guy we saw in that video we'll remember for a long time.
That should be a penalty on the NFC, Sean. I mean, that's just unacceptable. We're not going to put up with that kind of behavior.
Delaney Walker, one of the few who's actually been taken to the ground by Deion Jones. So here's Alex Smith, the Kansas City Chiefs. Second quarterback to go for the AFC today in relief of Ben Roethlisberger in his third Pro Bowl at age 33. Led the league in passer rating this year, the first Kansas City Chiefs since the merger in 1970 to do that. Career high 4,042 passing yards. 26 TD passes, also his career high. And as you said, the benefit of playing with teammates. He's familiar, obviously, with Kareem Hunt, who took the handoff.
And you got to give the credit to Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin said, hey, I'm going to let you guys play with your teammates. We're going to have continuity of ball handling. We're going to have Alex in there with Kareem Hunt and Tyreek Hill. We're going to have Ben in there with Le'Veon Bell and AB.
Bench, you run benches. Hey, double, half right, strong, 52, wide drive. Hey, benches, sneak. Over here, you got the benches. Over here.
Well, basically, we got benches, which is out routes. I believe he said wide drive, sneaks the back over the ball. Sack beater, if you will.
Movement along the line of scrimmage, no flags down there. We see deep throw for Jarvis Landry, and the catch made as he got behind Xavier Rhodes. All the way to the 10-yard line. Well, the big criticism of Jarvis Landry, if there is one, he averaged only 8.8 yards per reception this year. That was 134th in the NFL in yards per catch. This one went for 49.
Well, they jumped offside, so it's free play. The center snaps it. Alex Smith does a nice job of just catching that wet ball snap and then gives Jarvis Landry an opportunity. Great throw, great catch. We talked about Alex Smith improving on that deep ball accuracy, something he had been criticized for, and then he's best in the league at it. But Jarvis Landry showing those great hands. We saw it in the Pro Bowl skills. See it again.
112 catches, led the league. Miami Dolphins franchise record. It is first and goal. It is Kareem Hunt. Rookie who led the league in rushing this year, second rookie in as many years to lead the league in rushing. Elliott did it last year, Ezekiel, for the Cowboys. Well, there are the numbers that you mentioned. 16 completions of 30 yards or more downfield, most by any quarterback in the last 13 years. They said he couldn't throw it deep, and he proved them wrong.
D-slant pumps, pumps. Hey, half right strong, 52 D-slant pumps.
We got D-slant pumps. I'm no expert, but that sounds like a slant and go.
Well, you're not an expert. I don't know who is.
Set. RDD. Ice out.
Nowhere to throw it. Running out of time, and he throws it away over the head of Keenan Allen.
Did you hear Alex Smith's cadence there? I mean, it was like I was in his head. He was like, wide 80. He was trying to decide which corner is going to jump this slant. Is it Patrick Peterson or is it Xavier Howard? And he just, he couldn't decide. Last second, he decided neither one of them jumped it.
Two minutes.
Sorry, Xavier Rhodes, excuse me. Get my 29s mixed up.
Gets us to the 2-minute warning. AFC driving down by 14 points. The Pro Bowl from Orlando. 2-minute warning at the Pro Bowl, 73rd edition. This one coming your way from Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida. NFC with a 17-3 lead, but the AFC is at the 7-yard line. Smith, and it's intercepted by Patrick Peterson. He was trying to get it to Delaney Walker, and Peterson picked it off.
Well, ill-advised throw by Alex Smith. This is a hope and a prayer to Delaney Walker, hoping something great happened. Patrick Peterson says no.
Coming up on the Toyota halftime, Susie Colbert will interview the two Super Bowl quarterbacks, Nick Foles of the Eagles, Tom Brady of the Patriots, and a musical performance from Jordan Fisher. Minute 53 to go in the first half. NFC leading 17-3. NFC defense with 2 interceptions, the latest in the end zone by Patrick Peterson. Russell Wilson still at quarterback for the NFC. Dumps it over the middle. Kyle Rudolph has it poked away by Kevin Byard, the safety of the Tennessee Titans. Major scrum for it. And Jarrell Casey of the Titans has it back and then kicks the ball down the field. And aren't you glad we're not going to go to a replay review?
Well, I'm glad to see someone from the Titans got to punt the ball today. Jarrell Casey, after the fumble recovery, punts the ball. That's a big turnover in the red zone here. If the AFC is going to get back in this game, they're going to need more plays like that.
You really want your buddy Brett Kern to get on there and punt at least once, don't you?
I mean, he finally gets voted to the Pro Bowl. He gets to come here, gets all the good stuff. Let him punt. Let him play.
Go to commercial break. They might be taking a longer look at this one. There is a replay review. Kyle Rudolph waiting.
After reviewing the play, the receiver never had control of the ball. It is an incomplete pass. Second down. Please put 1:48 on the game clock.
The replay rules are a little different, but after all, scoring plays, interceptions, fumbles, or backward passes recovered by the opponent. After the 2-minute warning, the replay review can be initiated by the press box. Kyle Rudolph never lost a fumble in the regular season. He'd only fumbled once in a regular season game, and it was not lost. And his team has it back now. Second and 10. I think they're waiting for them to adjust the clock. Here's Russell Wilson.
22 all-go cat. H option 01.
We got all go cat H option. Means everyone's running go routes except for the outside guys. They're running comebacks. And we got Alvin Kamara over the ball on an option route.
Alvin Kamara out to the 37-yard line. It's been quite a 6-year NFL career for Russell Wilson. He's been dynamic through the air. 161 touchdown passes. He's also been prolific on the ground. 3,275 rushing yards. He's the only player in NFL history with 150-plus passing touchdowns and 3,000 rushing yards or more in any 6-year span of his career. He happens to have done it to start his career, and he shows his running skills there. The NFC uses one of its 2 timeouts. You get 2 per half in the Pro Bowl.
Well, we're going to get a chance to see Russell Wilson in the 2-minute drill here when we come back.
Here you go. Listen up here.
On second down for the NFC, a strike thrown by Russell Wilson. Kyle Rudolph protects the ball that time. Terrell Suggs, the ageless Baltimore Raven, his 15th year, 35 years old, the oldest defensive player in this Pro Bowl, made the tackle. Operating in the 2-minute drill, Kamara ran into Suggs. 8-yard gain.
22 circuits. 22 circuits. 22 circuits. 22 circuits. If I tap my head, double move.
Circus is an out route about 22 yards on the sidelines. He tapped his head, looked for the double move to Thielen if he wants it.
Looked like he tapped his head. He's throwing it deep for Thielen, who gets belted by Kevin Byard of the Tennessee Titans.
Well, he tapped his head for the double move. I bet Adam Thielen wishes he hadn't. He felt like he probably had the out route. He beats his guy, Aqib Talib, but Kevin Byard's right there to make the play on the ball. And I've never played wide receiver, but I'm sure that doesn't feel very good.
Byard in his second year. Originally wasn't selected for the Pro Bowl, made it as a replacement, even though he was first-team All-Pro, which is really an even bigger honor. And when he wasn't selected for the Pro Bowl, he said he got a text message from Eric Weddle, who was selected as a safety for the AFC, saying, hey, man, you deserved it. Congratulations on a great year. And the wrong got righted when he made it as an injury replacement for Micah Hyde of the Buffalo Bills, who suffered a concussion in their playoff loss to Jacksonville and could not go. First and 10, 20 seconds left in the half. NFC already leading 17-3.
You know, Russell Wilson had an amazing year this year, but they just didn't have a running game. They made a coaching change at offensive coordinator, so we'll have a new coordinator, new offensive line coach.
Gun double right, 22, Y option, F trench, on 1.
See if they can get that run game going again up in Seattle.
All the accomplishments that stand out to me, 65 regular season wins in his 6 years, most of any quarterback in his first 6 years. That ball ricocheted up in the air after pressure from Von Miller.
Well, one of the things in the Pro Bowl, you get these guys who are left tackles all the time, and then they got to go play right tackle. And it's a lot harder than you think. And then, oh, by the way, you're playing against Von Miller and just a standard snap count most of the time. Andrew Whitworth, one of the best left tackles in the game.
Hey, we're going to run right here, take a field goal, call a timeout, okay?
But it's just tough when you're playing right tackle there.
No, gun double right, nickel 40 on 1.
It's 3rd down and 10. The NFC at the 33-yard line, be about a 50-yard field goal for Graham Gano. They can't move the ball from here. Draw play. Mark Ingram. You hear Russell Wilson yelling at him to get down. Leave time for another player the field goal, and they get the timeout with 4 seconds to go. Here's Louis Riddick.
Yeah, this is one of these situations here where you saw Von Miller, and Matt, you referenced the fact that Andrew Whitworth is playing right tackle. And for the fans at home, the footwork is totally different for those guys. It totally feels very foreign to them. And Von Miller, from the very beginning of this series, was jumping off that snap count and getting around that corner. He almost had Russell a couple times with either a strip or a sack. And it's one of those things you're going to need to watch here because, look, the defensive linemen in these types of games have the advantage when they decide to turn it up.
Here's Gano for a 40-yard field goal. And it is good on the final play of the first half. Half controlled by the NFC and highlighted by a 79-yard interception return for a touchdown by Harrison Smith. The AFC will get the ball to start the second half. We'll join Susie Colber and the crew for the Toyota halftime in 30 seconds. Jordan Fisher, singer, dancer, actor, former Disney star, starred in Hamilton on Broadway, won Dancing with the Stars. He's a lot like you, Matt. He's good at everything. Performing here at the Pro Bowl, what stood out to you about that first half we just saw?
Well, Drew Brees was dealing. I mean, he came out like a veteran Pro Bowl quarterback and gave the ball, spread it around, gave it to everybody, went down and scored right away. Really, that's the difference in the game, plus the turnovers by the NFC defense.
Yeah, 3 turnovers committed by the AFC led to 13 of the NFC points. We're going to see a lot of Derek Carr for the AFC at quarterback in the second half as he tries to lead them back. With more on him down on the field, here's Louis Riddick.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Look, Derek Carr is one of my favorite players in the National Football League since he came out in the draft. I thought he has tremendous physical tools and a tremendous football mind and football instincts. Look, job number one for Coach John Gruden is to get Derek to cut down on the turnovers. They really ticked up this past year, and it's something that they're going to need to really improve in order to take care of the football this year and really get this team back on track. They have a lot of money invested in that offensive line. Pass protection should not be a problem. And they have some weapons on the perimeter, so there's no excuse for Derek not to get back on the same trajectory he was on until he slipped up a little bit this past year in 2017. So, look, Oakland Raider fans, you have one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League, and I'm sure Coach Gruden will get the best out of him this coming year.
He wouldn't use it as an excuse, but clearly injuries were a problem this season for Derek Carr as well. Transverse process fracture in his lower back in October. Missed only 1 game, but it bothered him for a while. I think our pal John Gruden is, of all the new coaches, inheriting the best team. They were a 12-win team the season prior to this one, and as Lewis just said, terrific offensive line. Derek Carr, Khalil Mack on the defense to lead the way. That's a good team. Hard to understand why they had a losing season this year.
Well, what I love about how they put that team together is you got Derek Carr, and then you go and you get that interior line established. Reggie McKenzie's done a nice job. Goes out in free agency, gets Rodney Hudson. I was with Reggie in Green Bay when there was Brett Favre and Frank Winters. I think he understands that center-quarterback relationship and how important that is to a quarterback's success.
And Mike Tomlin told us Derek Carr would play most of the second half, but Alex Smith is going to get at least 1 more series at quarterback for the AFC. A lot of work to do if the AFC is going to win again this year.
45, gun, yeah.
By the way, this is the 45th Pro Bowl with the AFC versus the NFC, and the all-time series is tied at 22 apiece. Smith checks it down to Le'Veon Bell, trying to run away from Thomas Davis. Now, hey, if you don't want to get tackled, you shouldn't pull that nonsense, because the next time you try that, somebody ought to blast you to prevent you from doing that again.
Well, guys are out here having fun. And, you know, when the ball's caught downfield, everyone's head's got to be on a swivel because you could get taken out. Alex Smith does a nice job of improvising. Thomas Davis could get laid out here. I don't know. That's a flop. Jarvis Landry, former soccer player. What do you think?
And excellent drone drop catcher, too.
Very impressive. That Pro Bowl Skills Challenge was fun, wasn't it?
It was a lot of fun. Players really enjoyed it. Fans love it. Big hit on TV. Rated very well. Get to see the players in a variety of challenges and a chance to show off their competitiveness without worrying about getting hurt.
There we go. Let's go.
Le'Veon Bell trying to get that contract deal figured out. He said it's not so much for money for himself. He feels like, you know, I've already made a lot of money, but he wants to set the bar very high. He thinks that running backs are undervalued, and he owes it to guys like Todd Gurley, fellow outstanding running backs, to set the bar high. So when it's their turn to negotiate, they'll get paid at a high rate. Throw and catch. T.Y. Hilton through a couple of defenders. T.Y. Hilton of the Colts. First down to the 19-yard line of the NFC.
Well, T.Y. Hilton, a great player, receiver. More of a possession receiver so far today, but I can tell you this guy is a deep threat. Guy plays the ball deep better than anybody that I've ever played with. When he's running full speed, it's like he's standing still. The guy tracks the ball so well. Little league teammates with Antonio Brown. I can't imagine what that team was like.
They grew up together in a tough neighborhood in Miami. They are very close. 44-yard catch on the first catch of the day for Hilton. With 57 catches during the regular season, fewest since his rookie year of 2012. But it was a Colts offense that struggled to throw the ball collectively. They were 30th in the league in pass offense. Flagged down, Alex Smith. Incomplete pass in the general direction of Jack Doyle from the Colts.
Going to be another free play here. Michael Bennett offsides again.
Offside, number 72, NFC, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
One thing I admire about Alex Smith, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, they do the old Brett Favre. You get the defense to jump and it's on. It's free play. Everybody go deep. We're at recess. We're at the playground. Make something happen downfield.
Threw an interception in the red zone in the first half. Didn't have one of those, the red zone interception in the regular season. And I think it was a regular season meaningful game. He wouldn't have tried to jam that throw in as he did to Delaney Walker. Over the middle for Le'Veon Bell. And they stand him up. Deion Jones, Thomas Davis, Taylor Watt in for a fairly late bump. First and goal, 4-yard line, Lewis.
Look, Le'Veon Bell, he's one of those multi-dimensional running backs that right now is in a very precarious situation as far as his contract situation is concerned. Look, whenever things went haywire for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense this year, who did they go to? Even more so than Antonio Brown. They went back to the run with Le'Veon Bell. They went back to the short passing game with Le'Veon Bell, and he was the guy who got them back on track. It's going to be interesting to see what they do to bridge the gap between the $12 million plus that he made on the franchise tender this year and then the $8 million or so a year on average that Devontae Freeman, the second highest paid running back in the NFL, makes. With the advent of these young running backs like Kareem Hunt doing as well as they are, it's going to be interesting to see if the Steelers pony up and pay Le'Veon Bell what he thinks he's worth.
It will be interesting indeed. Alex Smith, the touchdown pass to Delaney Walker. First touchdown of the day for the AFC. Delaney's going to take the football with him. And an extra point would make it a 10-point game.
Well, this is a good hard play action. It looks like, this kind of looks like Alex Smith to Travis Kelce, except it's Alex Smith to Delaney Walker. Nice route by Delaney Walker. Great route runner for a tight end.
And Walker was the injury replacement for Travis Kelce, selected for the Pro Bowl, but Kelce injured in their playoff loss to the Tennessee Titans. Concussion is not here. Chris Boswell, the extra point. 4-yard touchdown reception by Delaney Walker of the Tennessee Titans. The 2018 Pro Bowl is brought to you by the 2018 Lexus RXL, part of the RX family. See your Lexus dealer. Highlights of the Gridiron Gauntlet, one of the challenges of the Pro Bowl Skills Showdown, dominated by the NFC team. Ryan Kerrigan started the 40-yard dash with a parachute. Said he had never run with a parachute on his back before. He did a great job. Patrick Peterson, Mike Daniels, Quan Alexander, Alvin Kamara, all part of that winning squad. Derek Brooks deserves a lot of credit, one of the Legends coaches. He said, let's not go for the speedy guy with a parachute. Let's go for a powerful guy who can drag that thing along powerfully, and Kerrigan did it.
Well, there's a reason Derek Brooks was an 11-time Pro Bowler.
There he is. One of the all-time great linebackers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Hall of Famer in 2014. King and Warwick Dunn were the Legends coaches for the NFC. Jason Taylor, LaDainian Tomlinson here for the AFC. Adam Thielen the catch. Casey Hayward of the Chargers made the tackle, and it's a first down for the NFC at their own 47-yard line.
Go, green right tear. Fake 35 lob, make it right. Don't worry. I know.
Looks like we got a fake run to the left and a naked bootleg to the right. Coming back out toward that undrafted free agent out of college, Adam Thielen's side.
Play action fake, and the catch made by Jason Witten. Fourth leading receiver of all time, 1,152 career catches, still going strong. In his 15th year, he'll be 36 years old in May. And tied with Mr. Cowboy Bob Lilly for the most Pro Bowl selections in franchise history. Many think he shares that Mr. Cowboy label now with Bob Lilly.
53, X slant spacing, the Oscar. I want.
Jason Witten, I mean, I call him teaching tape guy. You just do whatever he does. You watch him, everything he does. He's got a route over the ball here. They're going to try to throw a slant to the right. If it's not there, they're going to hit Jason Witten over the ball if they want it.
Todd Gurley yanked out of bounds very close to another first down. Von Miller still out there. Jalen Ramsey of the Jaguars near the end of the play as well. What a year for Todd Gurley. Led the NFL in scrimmage yards, 2,093. Averaging 87 rush yards per game and 52.5 receiving yards per game. Only other player in NFL history to average that many rushing yards per game and receiving yards per game. Marshall Faulk did it twice for the 2000-2001 Rams. Deep throw, nobody there, and it's an interception. Casey Hayward of the Chargers also almost wondered like if he was supposed to keep going. Flips it back to Rashad Jones, the safety man for the Dolphins, and they're going to have some fun. Jalen Ramsey with Jones saying, "Follow me," and Russell Wilson helps shove him out of bounds. Mark Ingram, the primary tackler. So a takeaway for the AFC. The first NFC turnover.
Well, Russell Wilson thinks it's a deep route. Michael Thomas doesn't. And this is when the fun begins. The razzle-dazzle. AFC back in this game.
Part of this year's Pro Bowl, the NFL celebration in support of football at all levels. Players on the winning team will have the opportunity to apply for a $10,000 grant to go towards youth or high school football program of their choice, courtesy of the NFL Foundation. To learn more about the NFL Foundation, visit nflfoundation.org. Derek Carr into the game at quarterback. The Oakland Raider finds T.Y. Hilton, the Indianapolis Colt. Third Pro Bowl for Derek Carr, by his own admission. A disappointing season in his fourth year out of Fresno State. Injuries were a part of that. A lot of drop passes by guys you would expect to do better. Michael Crabtree, Amari Cooper in particular.
Well, I think Raider Nation can get used to that slant route. You're going to see a lot of them with John Gruden heading back to Oakland.
Set.
Dumped off with Delaney Walker. Another one of those unlikely Pro Bowlers. Was a wide receiver in college at Central Missouri. Drafted by San Francisco in the 6th round. Long shot to make the team. After about 2 weeks in camp, the coaches told him, "We're going to make you into a tight end." He said, "I've never played tight end." Mike Martz said, "Well, you're going to be a tight end or you're going to get cut." So he learned how to be a tight end, and he's become an outstanding one. He's led the Titans in catches each of the last 4 seasons.
Well, he's learned how to be a tight end, but he doesn't play like a tight end. He doesn't run routes like a tight end. In my mind, he runs the best routes of every player on the team, of every team he's ever been on. More like a wide receiver than a tight end. Great weapon, too.
Short yardage, they give it to Roosevelt Nix, who's had 2 carries today and 3 all year long.
Picks up 4 yards and an AFC first down.
Delaney Walker, another example, too, of how football can really, it's not, I don't want to overstate it, but can change the circumstances, perhaps even save your life. He told us that he was running with the wrong crowd in Pomona, California, going to junior college, not sure what his future was. The ability to get out of those circumstances, go far away, play football, really changed his life.
And many stories like that. That's the beauty of sports.
Sean McCoy, the tailback now. Nick still on the field. Play fake by Derek Carr. And a deep throw toward the end zone. Jump ball caught by T.Y. Hilton. Not many win the battle against Patrick Peterson, but T.Y. Hilton did.
Well, they go play action to the right, half roll left. They're trying to get a sail route to Jarvis Landry, and Derek Carr, being the gunslinger that he is, he throws it up. T.Y. Hilton just kind of clearing it out outside for Jarvis Landry. And Derek Carr gives him a chance, and he goes up between 2 defenders. And like I said earlier, T.Y. Hilton, I don't know why, he's not a big receiver, but he tracks the ball, that deep ball, like a center fielder, better than anyone I ever played with.
39 yards on the catch. He had a 44-yarder earlier in this quarter. Now trying to punch it in, and they do. LaShawn McCoy, the AFC touchdown.
Just a double tight end set inside zone. But I'm going to have to give the edge to the NFC on touchdown celebrations. Adam Thielen started it out strong. I expected something special for the Pro Bowl out of Shady McCoy. Not the same old we got up in Buffalo. Come on, man.
A little help from Antonio Brown. He usually has outstanding moves.
And it's nice to see Brett Kern gets a chance to play.
Thank goodness he's in the game, and mentioned by you the Titans punter who's holding for Chris Boswell. So the AFC down 20-3 at the half. 2 touchdowns here in the third quarter. And it's a 3-point game at the 2018 Pro Bowl.
How big is your army? 100,000.
ESPN has you covered on Super Bowl Sunday 1 week from today. Kick off your day at 10 a.m. Eastern with postseason NFL Countdown live from Minneapolis. And after the game, Chris Berman live from the field with Steve Young and Randy Moss. They'll have all the highlights, plenty of post-game interviews. Those are always very entertaining with Boomer on NFL Primetime. Both also streaming live on the ESPN app. Matt Hasselbeck and Louis Riddick on their way to Minneapolis for our coverage all week long. Jared Goff in at quarterback now for the NFC. Second-year quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams. He's on target to Doug Baldwin for a first down. Here's Lisa Salters with Alex Smith.
Thank you, Sean. Alex, we've had a couple of games, 3 games with you this season, and we kept asking you, the best season you've ever had. What just felt different to you? What just clicked?
I think we took that step finally offensively. I think consistency-wise. I mean, just week in, week out, I think really being efficient, being dynamic, spreading the field. And then a lot of our playmakers making plays. You know, we've kind of shown flashes and glimpses of it in the past, but I thought this year, throughout the course of the season, for the most part, we were aggressive, you know, and doing some dynamic things.
And yet, we talked about this all season. Despite how well you played, we don't know what's going to happen. What do you think is going to happen next for you?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is the NFL. I mean, that's what it's about. I love Kansas City. I love where I'm at. I love my teammates. At the same time, I mean, that's all I know right now, and this is a crazy game. I've played long enough to know that, so we'll see.
Thank you, Alex. Good luck to you, and congrats on the 3rd Pro Bowl.
Thank you.
Sean?
Yeah, one of the good guys in the league, and as Louis Riddick said, whether he's a Kansas City Chief, and there are arguments to bring him back or to have him move on, or he's somewhere else, he still has plenty left in the tank.
Yeah, without a doubt. And really, the reason why we're having these conversations is twofold. Number one, the Kansas City Chiefs have a cap problem potentially next year. And number 2, the kid behind him, Patrick Mahomes, is special and is going to be a special player in this league for a long time.
Goff barely got the handoff off, and it's Kyle Juszczyk, the quick hitter, the fullback, first down across midfield. Here's Jared Goff. Who would have thought a year ago he'd be in the Pro Bowl? This was his 2nd season. The first year he was largely considered a bust after he was the #1 overall pick in 2016 out of Cal. With the coaching change to Sean McVay and his staff, they coached him up. Jared Goff also said some of it's just the product of improving from year 1 to year 2 with a lot of experience in every facet of quarterback play in the league. But he's been one of the best stories in the league this year.
And his improvement, really, you got to give the credit to Sean McVay. Sean McVay came in there and put everything through the quarterback lens for this guy. Everyone was saying he was a bust, unlocked his potential, and not only did he get Jared Goff going, he got Todd Gurley going, and Jared Goff put up crazy numbers. To think where this guy was last year to now in the Pro Bowl, playing in the second half, with a chance to be Pro Bowl MVP, I'm calling it now, Sean. Impressive.
You're calling Jared Goff as the Pro Bowl MVP.
Well, you know what you do? You usually just pick the quarterbacks to play the second half. So I was going to go Derek Carr or Jared Goff, and what the heck? I'll take Jared Goff.
You saw the graphic. His passer rating improved by just under 37 points from his rookie campaign to this season, the 3rd largest increase from one season to the next in NFL history, surpassed only by Nick Foles between his first and second seasons, and Drew Brees between his third and fourth when he was a Charger. Goff, a nice looking throw there to Kyle Rudolph, who gets wrestled down to the ground by Telvin Smith.
You know, not everybody thought that Jared Goff was going to be a bust after his first year, because I'll tell you what, I have seen enough times in my career in personnel departments to know that at the quarterback position, and Matt, you can speak to this more so than any other position, scheme fit, rapport with your coaching staff, the kind of players that surround you, the culture that you're in, the kind of teaching that you're getting in the classroom, on the practice field, really does determine your success as much as you determine your success. What Sean McVay did with Jared Goff this year is really, I don't want to say it's unprecedented, but it's the kind of thing that owners now and GMs now are looking for when they're looking for head coaches. Can you develop that kind of rapport with a young quarterback? And you know, you're seeing it even with a veteran quarterback like Nick Foles, who's now going to the Super Bowl. The rapport that he has with Doug Peterson, someone who was there in Philadelphia when Nick Foles was drafted, someone who believes in him, knows his strengths, knows his weaknesses, knows what kind of teaching he responds to the best, what kind of play calls he responds to the best. These are the kind of things that have to be emphasized in personnel departments with guys like Nick Foles, guys like Jared Goff. Otherwise, you risk ruining some really good quarterbacks, and you don't even know what you really have because you never set them up to succeed in the first place.
Nice catch by Kyle Juszczyk.
Well, just to echo well, I'm going to give Kyle Juszczyk his due here. He's a fullback. He doesn't get that much love. We'll get back down to Kyle Juszczyk, a fullback. I think he's got 1 or 2 carries and a catch already today. But Lewis, just to pump on what you just said about the Los Angeles Rams, I would add in teammates. And to hear Jared Goff talk about what Andrew Whitworth has meant to him from year 1 to year 2, teammates in that mentorship role as well, very important.
Juszczyk being used regularly by his division rival Goff here on this drive. And Whitworth was 12 years with the Cincinnati Bengals. They needed to improve their line play, the Los Angeles Rams. And they brought Whitworth over as a free agent in his mid-30s. He's the oldest starting offensive lineman in the league now. 36 years old, but with his leadership and his talents still obvious, even in his mid-30s, he was a big difference maker, and Goff is quick to make that point.
A little bit later. Well, yeah, you have Cherry.
Sean Payton checking in on his acclaimed ball boys, the sons of Drew Brees. To the fourth quarter we go. The Pro Bowl from Orlando. The Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award recognizes NFL players who exemplify sportsmanship, respect, and integrity in competition. Pro Bowlers Luke Kuechly and Carolina Alex Smith of the Kansas City Chiefs are 2 of the 8 finalists that will be bound to the NFL honors. On February 3rd, that's at 9 p.m. Eastern on NBC. The winner will receive a $25,000 donation from the NFL Foundation to the charity of his choice. Luke Kuechly, selected for the Pro Bowl, wasn't able to make it. Injury scratch. Jared Goff too high over the head of Jason Witten.
That play call there was all go, a 2-by-2 formation, meaning 2 guys on the right, 2 guys on the left. This is a Sean Payton staple.
Jump, Farrell. Ready? Lady, what's that?
Look out, Goff in trouble. And a big sack for the AFC. Trying to force a field goal attempt and stay within 1 score. Cameron Hayward, in his 7th year out of Ohio State, had set the Pro Bowl as a goal, and he made it for the first time this year. Was also first-team All-Pro.
A little line stunt. It's called an ET stunt, meaning the end comes first, the tackle comes second. Cam Hayward's the recipient of a nice freebie sack. I'll tell you, Cam Hayward, I've been hit hard by a lot of different guys. I don't know if anyone's hit me as hard as Cam Hayward. That guy is made of steel.
There's Graham Gano, a 38-yard attempt. And it is good. How about Graham Gano as a potential MVP candidate? His 3rd field goal for the NFC.
Well, welcome back to the Pro Bowl here at Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida. The Don Shula NFL High School Coach of the Year Award honors high school football coaches that display the integrity, achievement, and leadership exemplified by the winningest coach in NFL history. Of course, that is Don Shula. I am pleased to announce that this year's winner of this prestigious award is Crenshaw High School head coach Robert Garrett. Coach, congratulations. You told me you have been a football coach, a head coach for 30 years. What is it that you love about coaching football?
Helping youngsters to become better men and to become better fathers and become better students and to allow them to give back to their communities. And coaching football at Crenshaw High School is a great honor because it's so challenging, but I accept that challenge wholeheartedly.
Now, as the winner, your football program will be awarded $15,000 courtesy of the NFL Foundation. What are you and your team, what are you going to do with that money?
I'm going to challenge my community to be to probably do something like a matching to purchase some championship rings. We just were the winner of California State 4AA championship, and our student athletes are deserving of those rings. So I challenge my community to assist in making that happen for our student athletes.
Thank you very much, Coach, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Sean.
All right, Lisa, thank you. Derek Carr to Tyreek Hill for 18 yards. Congratulations to Coach. A lot of times in these inner city schools, you know, other schools, they might have banquets when they achieve something, win a state championship, rings, as he said, jackets. Sometimes in these inner city schools, they don't get anything. So let's hope that that money is spent to help them commemorate their outstanding season. Jarvis Landry, tackled by Deion Jones. The AFC now with a chance to take the lead if they can score a touchdown and add the extra point with under 13 minutes to go.
Half right. We got chip screen left to H.
Okay, well, pretty simple. Chip screen left, so Ryan Kerrigan, the running back Kareem Hunt's going to act like he's chipping him, helping out Villanueva, and it's going to be a screen to Kareem Hunt on the left.
And the NFC well positioned to stop it, and they do at the line of scrimmage. Mike Daniels knocked him down. Well, terrific season for the rookie out of Toledo, Kareem Hunt. Led the league in rushing. Did it with one carry their last game of the regular season. Helped by the fact that Gurley and Bell didn't play at all the last games of their regular season, but he still did it nonetheless. And that's 3 years in a row that the Chiefs have had a rookie in the Pro Bowl. Tyreek Hill last year, Marcus Peters the corner 2 years ago.
And 1 year ago, Kareem Hunt was coming off a strong Senior Bowl performance. Now here he is in the Pro Bowl. But you talk about Kareem Hunt, you talk about Alvin Kamara, rookies who were third-round draft picks who had outstanding seasons. And those are the guys you start mentioning when you talk about Le'Veon Bell and that contract. Are you going to pay big money to a veteran running back, or are you going to take a philosophical approach where, hey, we can find a guy much cheaper in the draft and get the same kind of production?
I think Bell's probably better when you talk about the rushing and the receiving skills combined, but as you said, there's not that much of a drop off to these other guys who don't command anywhere near as big a salary. Fourth down, and they're going for it. Down by 6 with just over 11 minutes to go. 4th and 5. Carr throws it a mile in the air and out of bounds. Other than that, Tyreek Hill, we think, was the intended receiver, or it was somebody in row 4. The 2018 Pro Bowl is brought to you by Visit Orlando, the official source for Orlando travel planning. Millions plan every year to come here to Central Florida for all the attractions, Disney World and theme parks. Got to look at Epic Pro Bowl Dodgeball, the skills competition earlier this week. Came down to that one-on-one showdown between Jarvis Landry and Graham Gano, and Landry finished the epic comeback by the AFC team by eliminating Gano with that catch. Gano said he had a hard time sleeping that night. I ran him to practice yesterday. Said, I was lying in bed wishing I had bounced the ball and tried to hit him on the hop rather than throwing it right into the hands of one of the best receivers in the league.
Number 22, NFC, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And Gano said he's used to catching as well because he was a soccer goalie in high school.
Well, it came down to that throw, but it also came down to the 5 Ds of dodgeball. As you know, the dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge.
Is that stolen from the epic dodgeball movie?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Pass over the middle. Goff on target to Jason Witten.
Jared Goff talked this week about how valuable he felt this week was for him. Just hanging out with 2 Super Bowl quarterbacks, Drew Brees and Russell Wilson.
Gun, one left slot. 22 all go, screen right, halfback on 1.
So we got 22 all go, which means everybody's going deep, and we got a screen right to Ingram. Now he could probably take this all go if he wanted it, or just choose to throw the screen.
Looking for the screen. Mark Ingram. Ooh, boy. Yeah, I think they're in the air. That would be flagged. The AFC defenders are looking for the flag. They're all gesturing at this officiating crew. We asked if the players really care that much about this competition. I guess Mark Ingram really cares.
Well, it's the 4th quarter, and I just remember in the Pro Bowls that I was in, 4th quarter was the time when everyone started counting the money. The difference, it's double the money if you win this game.
We mentioned at the top of the telecast, but if you weren't with us, the members of the winning team received $64,000 each, while the losing squad members received $32,000.
Neutral zone infraction number 54. AFC, 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
Melvin Ingram called for the penalty. The first penalty enforced against the AFC. As you can see, it is raining again here, but we've really been pretty lucky. The forecast was pretty grim yesterday. Much higher likelihood of thunder and lightning. We've had rain, but thankfully none of the electric stuff.
I actually never minded rain in Orlando because the lines at Disney World were never as long.
Well, now that you're a Disney employee, I
Number
think you
82,
could bypass the lines.
NFC, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
I wish that was true.
Did you hit the parks this week? I know you were very busy in preparation for dodgeball and the other skills showdown challenges and for the flag football and for this game.
No, I didn't, but I was talking to some of the players. Talking to Kyle Rudolph this morning, actually. He was carrying his twins, and I said, hey, man, what'd you do to get ready for the game? He said, well, I was on rides at Disney World all day yesterday with my kids. I said, okay, have a good game.
The way it should be. Ooh, that ball off the hands of Kamara and almost picked off by Casey Hayward, who knows he likely would have had a touchdown if he had been able to make the interception. And that might have been game MVP honors if you pick it off and run it back to give the AFC the lead.
Well, there's a saying they have on defense. They say tips and overthrows. Got to get those. That's the difference between winning and losing sometimes. Those balls that get batted up and they're inconsequential incompletions. You saw Jacksonville, the Jaguars did a great job of turning plays like that into turnovers all season long.
So leading by 6 across midfield. Sean Payton going for it on 4th down and 7. And Jared Goff's throw is much too low for Jason Witten. Good pressure applied by Yannick Ngakoue. Second-year man out of Maryland playing in his first Pro Bowl. He had 12 sacks during the regular season. All of us at ESPN, particularly our Monday Night Football family, want to wish this man all the best. Recognize Leo Boucher, our lead video engineer, 30 years of excellence and dedication, and one of the great guys on our crew, a crew filled with many nice people. Expert eye, great knowledge. He really helped ESPN into a pioneering position in sports television. We wish him the best. He's heading home to New Bern, North Carolina in his boat. Long throw and an interception made by Patrick Peterson. Ball intended for Keenan Allen of the Chargers. And Peterson the pick.
Derek Carr trying to take a shot. It's an out and up. He chooses to go to the right and test Patrick Peterson. We know about the athlete that Patrick Peterson is. He doesn't take the out, flips the hips nicely, turns, gets both hands on the ball against a big target in Keenan Allen. And we talked to Patrick Peterson yesterday. I said, Patrick Peterson, man, you know, you're so great at so great at defense. Would you ever want to play wide receiver? You know, I've seen your ball skills. He said, listen, man, I want one thing, get this done for me. I want to compete in that quarterback challenge here at the Pro Bowl Skills. I've been beating my guys in Arizona year after year, week after week. Give me a shot at the Pro Bowl Skills Challenge at quarterback. I said, I'll talk to some people, see what we can do.
2 interceptions, so he's certainly in the running for game MVP honors. NFC has the ball back with the 6-point lead. We talk about making history. This for Patrick Peterson, his 7th Pro Bowl, all 7 years he's been in the league. He's still just 27 years old, won't be 28 until July. The only other players in the history of the NFL to be selected for 7 Pro Bowls and playing them before the age of 28, Jim Brown and Barry Sanders.
I've heard of them.
Ready? 6 straight Pro Bowls as a corner. He made it as a rookie in 2011 as a kick returner. Also an avid golfer, Patrick Peterson. A lot of great golf out there in the Valley of the Sun. Of course, one of the problems for Steve Wilkes to solve, the new coach of the Cardinals, I think that was an excellent hire. The corner opposite Patrick Peterson. Patrick didn't get a lot of stats because nobody comes in his direction anymore.
Well, that's true, but you know what he's got to start with? He's got Chandler Jones. And if you were to build a defensive end on Madden, you would build somebody that looked like Chandler Jones. That pass rush is a secondary's best friend.
Jared Goff still the quarterback for the NFC. Midway through the 4th quarter in the NFC, leading by 6. Doug Baldwin off and running. And there are whistles now stopping the play. So this is all for naught. Earl Thomas, very excited. He thought his teammate in Seattle was going to have a huge play, perhaps a game clincher, but it's coming back.
Well, because he knows his teammates. These refs certainly don't. This is angry Doug Baldwin. They blow the whistle because they think forward progress is stopped. But Doug Baldwin plays with a chip on his shoulder, an undrafted free agent out of Stanford. He was upset that his college coach didn't draft him, didn't sign him in San Francisco. And when I left Seattle, Doug Baldwin came in. I can't tell you how many people from that organization called me and said, hey, man, you would love this wide receiver we have, this slot guy, Doug Baldwin. He's like Bobby Ingram, but a little faster, a little bigger, and plays a little angrier. Doug Baldwin is a great receiver, very underrated.
10-yard gain. They blew the whistle. Let's try to protect the players for the most part today. Guys, you know, on contact like this, it basically stopped. But Baldwin wasn't really stopped. Anyway, here's Louis Riddick.
But Doug Baldwin is one of those guys. I remember when he came into the National Football League and watching him on tape, and he was unknown. And I remember thinking at the time, this guy has some of the best escape skills at the line of scrimmage that I have ever seen. Doug Baldwin has been a direct beneficiary of, as the Seattle Seahawks running game has suffered since Marshawn Lynch left the Seattle Seahawks, he has been the direct beneficiary because now it's become more of a passing type of offense. And the result, as he's always thought, he would be a Pro Bowl wide receiver if he just got the opportunities, and now he is.
Ready. Set.
Goff for Kyle Rudolph. Another candidate for game MVP honors. That's his 7th catch. That leads all players in the game. And the NFC effectively running down the clock here. 5:40 remaining in the Pro Bowl.
Who knew? Maybe taking the Twins to Disney World's the thing to do the day before the game. Kyle Rudolph, I see you, man.
That's one of the advantages. Of course, before the last 4 years during which the Pro Bowl was played in Hawaii only once, 34 of the previous 35 were in Hawaii, and who doesn't love Hawaii? But it is easier to bring your family here for most of the players than to get everybody over to Hawaii. And then when they're here with all the theme parks, a lot for the kids to do. I think the adults like the beach and the pool in Hawaii. I know you did.
You know, there's a lot to like. I got to say, though, being invited to the Pro Bowl, if you're healthy enough to play in this game, for the most part, I feel like guys try to get to this game. It is such an honor. I remember my first Pro Bowl, and I didn't really understand the traditions and all the stuff that you do, and you trade helmets with guys. That's like one of the things you do. And I remember one player said, "Hey, can I get your helmet? Can we trade?" And I said, "Sure, man." And then Donovan McNabb asked me the same question. I was like, "Sure, man." Well, that first guy came back up to me. It was Larry Allen. He's like, "Hey, where's my helmet?" I was like, I got a little problem here. I got to find another helmet.
So my question would be, if you only have one helmet and you're going to trade it with somebody, what happens if some guy comes up to you who's one of the lesser known Pro Bowl guys and you really want somebody else's helmet? It's like getting asked on a date. Do you say, no, I really don't want
So I learned my lesson. Walter Jones finally told me the trick. You got to bring multiple helmets. And that's what I did.
And do the Seahawks, or your team at the time, do they let you do that? Here.
Yeah, Eric Kennedy, equipment guy for the Seattle Seahawks, one of the best. He took care of me. Takes care of all those guys. And really, we got to all thank Walter Jones, because Walter Jones was invited year after year to all these Pro Bowls. He taught us all the tricks.
Off a deep throw for Thielen, well covered by Jalen Ramsey. Just 23 years old. He might be the best cornerback in the NFL.
I was going.
And we talked to Doug Marrone yesterday at the practice. His coach in Jacksonville drove over with his children yesterday to cheer on the Jags. His kids got some autographs for their players. He said, Jalen, everybody talks about his physical talent, the size, 6'2", 208, the length, the speed, and the obvious skills. But he said what impressed him the most is he's a great student of the game. He's a full film room junkie.
Well, I love hearing Lewis compare him to Mike Haynes, a guy I grew up watching for both the New England Patriots wearing number 40 and then with the Los Angeles Raiders wearing number 22, I believe.
The NFC not yet to midfield, but they've taken 5 minutes off the clock on this possession. They lead by 6. Sean McDonough, Matt Hasselbeck, Louis Riddick, and Lisa Salters back at the 2018 Pro Bowl, the NFC, leading by 6 with 3:46 to go. And a big fourth down here. Looks like Sean Payton's going to go for it. If they don't get it here, they're going to turn the ball over in their own territory to the AFC with plenty of time left. 4th down and 3 for Jared Goff in the NFC offense. Over the middle and almost intercepted by Terrell Suggs, who does have 7 career interceptions to go with his 125.5 lifetime sacks.
Well, Goff going to the gloves here in the rain. I haven't seen that before, but really nowhere to go right there. Inside out, he tries to force it inside. The slant on the outside to the left is wide open. Kind of predetermined that one. The young quarterback had a chance to seal this game. Did not.
Let's head down to the field. Here's Lisa Salters with Patrick Peterson.
Thank you, Sean. Patrick, you have 2 picks in this game. Tell me, how much do you want that Pro Bowl Defensive MVP award?
I want it real bad because playing here in front of 40 of my family members, I'm 3 hours away from Orlando, so it'd be great to win the defensive MVP here.
7 years for you, 7 Pro Bowls. Does this ever get old?
Not at all. Honestly, it's a blessing to be in this position.
I need the hat trick, man. It's on the line.
It's on the line?
He's out of the game now.
No, hat trick. Hat trick.
We got to send it back in.
Trick Shorty.
Hat trick Shorty. It's for the bag, man.
My classmate, my draft classmate.
2011, holding it down. You already know.
You said that I was the best draft class ever?
Hey, legendary. Hey, just check the stats. I'm just saying, don't just check.
Well, you could. The hat trick. You want to go back in and try to get one more?
Why not?
All right. Go for it. Go for it.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks, Patrick.
Mark Ingram there with a notable contribution to that interview. Derek Carr, AFC, with a chance to win the game here with a touchdown. Jarvis Landry stood up immediately by Keanu Reeves. Keanu Neal. That would be something if Keanu Reeves was in the Pro Bowl.
Epic.
Keanu Neal. I had a 1 out of 2 chance. They're the only 2 Keanus I know of. And Peterson is back in the game anyway. Just in time for me.
Well, Derek Carr trying to bring back that 2016 Derek Carr with all those 4th quarter comebacks. 12 wins that year for the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, it might have been 13 if he hadn't been hurt in the second last game of the year. Couldn't play in their playoff loss at Houston, where that is out of bounds. Looked like a throwaway. So now 4th down with 3 minutes to go. 4th down and 7. AFC is going to use the timeout with the clock stopped here. The Steeler coaching staff, Randy Fiedner, want to make sure they have the play called
He said D-Car.
correct. We're back at the Pro Bowl. We had a chance during the timeout to listen to the play call. Randy Fiedner, the new play caller for Pittsburgh. What did you hear?
Well, it was kind of a board meeting there. Ben Roethlisberger giving his thoughts, Derek Carr giving his thoughts. What it sounds like they're going to do, they're going to try to do something outside, kind of clear it out, and have option routes in both slots.
Go push him and hook it up. Here we go, let's go, here we go. 52, through.
So he's going to have Delaney Walker and Jarvis Landry 1-2, and then Kareem Hunt on the through route as a check down.
Set.
4th and 7.
Blue 80. What's up?
Carr steps into the pocket and has his man Jarvis Landry for the first down to the 32-yard line. Tackled by Darius Slay in his first Pro Bowl, fifth-year man out of Mississippi State.
Well, you can feel the intensity pick up here in the fourth quarter. Game's on the line, money on the line. Jarvis Landry with an excellent route on Darius Slay. Getting that off coverage, just getting that little bit of separation to give Derek Carr enough room to complete that fourth down.
Blue 80. What's up?
5 catches for Jarvis Landry. Carr to Hunt. He's in trouble. Yeah, it's money time, all right. Deion Jones, second-year linebacker out of LSU, playing in his first Pro Bowl. Well, you referenced it. Winning players receive $64,000, the losing team $32,000. So if the AFC could take the lead here, there could be a $4 million swing in total. 2-minute warning. AFC on the move, still down by 6. Tonight, catch SportsCenter on ESPN right after the X Games. Kevin Connors and John Anderson, your anchors. They'll have a complete recap of the NBA clash between Ben Simmons and the 76ers, Russell Westbrook and OKC. What's Tiger Woods' biggest challenge in the days ahead? Great to see him back on the course. We'll hear from Tom Brady and Nick Foles. Review of the Super Bowl 1 week away. All this and everything else on SportsCenter, 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app.
Set.
Derek Carr's team has trailed all day. They're offside. Is it a free play? Nope, they're stopping it. The NFC scored on the opening drive, led 7-0 midway through the first quarter.
Neutral zone infraction number 72. NFC, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
That has to be the Pro Bowl record for the most neutral zone infractions by one player.
Well, it's too good of a hard count because they all jump, and it's unevaded to the quarterback. What he was looking for was, just like you said, a free play. Give us a chance to throw one up, maybe a jump ball outside to Keenan Allen, T.Y. Hilton.
Hey, half right, listen up. We're going 52. Hard 3 again. We're going D slant over here. We're going double slant on this side. Come flat. Over here. Stay over here. You got through. Check through. Right over the ball.
So he's going hard count again, trying to get another free play. We got slants, and again, that sack beater's Kareem Hunt over the ball.
Wednesday, Rod. Set. Blue 80. Listen up. Hunt.
NFC didn't jump that time. There's the slant to T.Y. Hilton, who ducks under the hit from Xavier Rhodes and has the first down for the AFC inside the 20-yard line with the clock running 1:50 to go.
Same.
I got to give credit to Mike Tomlin for really trying to honor the continuity. You've got an Oakland Raiders center with an Oakland Raiders quarterback working that snap count.
Carr surrounded down the seam for a touchdown. Delaney Walker, the Tennessee Titans, and now the AFC is an extra point away from its first lead of the game. They were down 20-3 at the half.
I told you I got you. I told you I got you. Oh, appreciate it. Hey. Let's get it. Yeah.
And somewhere in a bunker, John Gruden is smiling.
And the entire AFC bench is smiling. They all ran to the end zone. There's money on the line. Winners double up the losers here. And
big extra point. Chris Boswell. It's not money in the bank yet.
Biggest kick since kick-tack-toe.
On Wednesday, which he lost to Graham Gano. I think that kick more than atones for that. They actually raise it in the air, his teammate Cameron Hayward. Still a minute and a half to go. A little early for total celebration yet for the AFC.
Well, another reason to be excited. This is a John Gruden staple. 4 verticals. We got zone coverage. Delaney Walker presses the outside technique. Perfect throw, perfect route. Really nothing the defense can do here. That's just 2 great players making a play.
You talked during the week about the game, what it can do for you. You talked about a couple of times at the end of a disappointing season. It was nice to come here and almost clear your head. You know, these teams that almost got to the championship game, like the Steelers, didn't get their disappointment. This helps to erase it. And for Derek Carr, you know, this is a great way to head into next season.
Well, I can remember coming here right after losing a Super Bowl, and you really got this terrible taste in your mouth. And the game's almost therapeutic. And in the same way, you got guys here on the Saints, on the Vikings, like you mentioned, the Steelers. This is your last memory of the season and going to next year.
The pass rush picks up now with the money in the game on the line, and Alvin Kamara couldn't handle the pass over the middle. Well, they took away our ballots for the MVP, and they had NFC guys on them. We might have to write in some new names now here for the offensive and defensive MVP. Who do you think deserves it more, Carr or Delaney Walker, who caught 2 touchdown passes?
Well, Delaney Walker certainly put himself back into the conversation, possibly even the lead. I don't have the numbers.
I'm voting for him because you quarterbacks get everything. Yeah, I still think Patrick Peterson deserves the defensive MVP with 2 picks, so that's who we'll go with.
Well, I think he deserves a chance at that quarterback competition. I saw what he did to those guys, Carson Palmer and those guys, making them wear those terrible outfits.
And now with the NFC scores, are they going to come back for the 3rd time for the ballots?
I should hope so.
Just over a minute to go. A field goal would win it for the NFC. Graham Gano has a big leg. That's a 1st down. Terrell Suggs. The boy, is the hitting picked up here in the last minute or 2, as Alvin Kamara just found out. 1 timeout left, 53 seconds in the rain. Gano kicked a 58-yarder this year. Matter of fact, he did it in the playoff game against New Orleans, the longest playoff field goal in the league history. The ball's out. Cameron Hayward got there, and Von Miller recovered the ball. And the AFC is going to win here in Orlando for the 2nd year in a row.
Came in for 2 reasons.
Yeah, you can see right there on that game-winning strip sack with Von Miller. He was talking before the snap. You could tell he was about to go ahead. Look, he sticks that arm right in the middle of Dwayne Brown's chest, who doesn't play right tackle on a regular basis, and he's trying to close this game out, Matt. He wanted that extra money. He wanted to protect it for his team. Von Miller's just a big play guy. Whether it's the Pro Bowl, preseason, regular season, this guy is just an absolute game closer and a game wrecker, and he done it here again tonight.
Well, and you see why Derek Carr wanted to use the hard count. When you're in a 2-minute drive, usually it's on the quick count each and every time, and that's what Jared Goff had to do. 2-minute on the quick count. You use those TV timeouts or when the clock stops to use that hard count to try to keep a guy like Von Miller honest, help those tackles out a little bit.
Cameron Hayward credited with his 2nd sack. It was so important to him to play in the Pro Bowl. His dad, Craig Ironhead Hayward, did as a running back in the mid-90s. He died of brain cancer a decade ago. He and Miller involved in the sack. Miller has the ball, and the AFC has the win. They won't have to snap it again. Delaney Walker, 2 touchdown catches. 4 catches in all and 5 targets. And Derek Carr, terrific in the 2nd half. 11 out of 15 for 115, a touchdown. He did throw an interception.
Hey, holla at your boy.
And the final seconds tick off. Talked at the top of the telecast. Important to take the game seriously, treat it like a game, show it its respect, and the players and coaches did again this year.
Well, there were quick whistles in terms of forward progress, but there was hitting, there was the speed of it. You could tell the intensity of practice was there more so than it's been in the past. I thought it was a great game. I mean, I don't know if I'd call it epic dodgeball great, but I thought it was a great game.
Not as good as epic dodgeball, perhaps a little bit better than kick-tack-toe. AFC, the winners, 24-23. Back with much more from Orlando right after this.
Good to see you, bro.